So, welcome everyone to another stream. Today I have a special guest. It's the only one, big guy that is Logic, and he loves cross-site scripting a lot. It's the only one, Brut Logic. So say hi to each other. And yeah, as you all know how it goes, I will ask questions, he will answer them, and at the end of my questions, you guys can ask questions too if you have any questions. So, yeah, let's not wait and let's just jump to the first question. And as always, my first question is always the same. Yeah, when was your first hack ever? The first hack, if you remember.
Uh, Let me think. I think it was back into the days when I was working at a power company, from my country here. Uh, there I started to study hacking and looking for things there in the internal network to report, to try to go to the security area department. I think it was something like a scanner just gave me a result. Some IBM exploit, old exploit that is the system there, and AIXI. Uh, but it was something like a CVE, well-known CVE that they didn't patch, something like that. The real hacking stuff, I think it was something related to Node or legacy application there, maybe a cross-site script or something like that. At the time, I was not aware of that all that knowledge about cross-site script. I was just reproducing stuff that I just copy and paste like most of us do in the beginning. So I was not really aware of the vulnerabilities, just finding and reporting them. I think it was one of my first hacks.
That's uh, that's why you call your own Brute Logic cross-site scripting.
In fact, I started in Twitter in 2012 as British Logic, and I was not involved in cross-site script yet. I was really not someone that understood how web works really at that level, at client-side level.
Yeah.
With JavaScript, HTML, and all that stuff. So cross-site scripting was just one more things I had in my bag for a penetration test, but I really had no deep understanding of it. So in 2015, I decided to shift my focus to that and started to learn it from the very beginning, from practicing stuff and doing the wired. I have a philosophy that is a famous quote now. It's not mine. I took from some forum online. I can't remember. It's don't learn to hack, hack to learn. So I started to look for cross-site scripting in the wired, in the World Wide Web, and to report to a website now today known as Open Bug Bounty. At the time, it was Access Exposed. It was full disclosure, so we just had to find a report. Nowadays, a little bit different. It's totally different, not a little bit, totally different, because it's not full disclosure. It's coordinated disclosure. But it was fun because was it was kind of a game to me to become the first place there. That they had some rankings, the main one, and some with other stuff like the best ranked website by Alexa or Google ranking, and VIP sites or overall sites. And I struggle a lot to become the first place in almost all categories there. And when I did, I finally decided that I was ready to go, to do another stuff because XSS was something I had learned. But I was kind of full because I had learned so much more after that, becoming a researcher in this field from 2015 till now.
Well, it's really a great story that you have been telling us. Yeah, it is nice to hear. Yeah, that you're enjoying this journey and you learned a lot by just hacking. And as you say it with your quote, don't learn to hack, but hack to learn. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that people need to take in their minds. Well, thank you for answering this question. Let me go to the second one. Did you went to college or did you learn everything by watching videos, reading books, or yeah? How did you become?
Not I have some technical background, but it's from the 90s, you know. Uh, I'm kind of old. Maybe I'm not
Old?
showing that age, but I'm kind of old.
How old are you?
So when I was, uh, I'm 43 now.
Ah,
Uh,
you are young.
so, but I was in technical school in the 90s. So there I had some good uh, programming background in old languages, like Pascal, assembly. Assembly till now it's something important, but and it gives a good background of understanding of the machine. But I was dealing with terminals at that time. There was no GUI, no visual stuff. There was Windows Network at the time, but we used it very little. So from that time, but I started to study hacking several years later, like 15 years later, in 2010. Uh, so I didn't go to the college, to a college to learn these things. I've learned it by myself, by mostly by reading. I've watched some videos too. It's nice, but I think nowadays there are too much videos. I think that doesn't don't tell you, don't teach you properly. I think maybe some courses, online courses, so things like that. But I recommend to read more. Not really books, but blog articles, blog posts, social media posts. There are good things out there. You just have to follow the right people and be open-minded and always be someone that checks the source of the information and tests, check, verify that information. Uh, the famous quote, I think, by ex-president Ronald Reagan: "Trust but verify." Uh, and that's what I recommend to anything that wants to become a hacker out there. Just try to learn stuff by yourself, especially by doing. Hack to learn.
Well, first of all, yeah, your age, you are not old. I think you are very young. Old is like 80 or 19, but 42 is young. So yeah, you have still your entire life.
I mean, in perspective, because I deal with people in the 20s, maybe even less, kids from uh, 15, 18
Yeah,
years old. The next generation is pretty young.
yeah, I know what you
So,
mean. There are indeed people like 30, 40 years old and still, yeah, they are already OSCP, and I think, oh, 40-year-old and already OSCP. But yeah, we are all different. So yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, th- thank you for answering that question. And I'm wondering, do you have uh, any blog or article that you recommend for the people who are watching? Like, yeah, you guys need to read this. This is really amazing to read.
Yeah, I could just suggest my own blog, which is goodlogic.com.br, BR because of Brazil. I have lots of stuff there about cross-site scripting. But if you ask me about hacking in overall, in general, Uh, I don't know because I'm kind of outdated maybe about stuff out there. I'm sorry for the this noise. You know, it's raining a lot here now, so my
Don't
apologies.
worry. It's
I hope the sound is good enough.
yeah, we can hear
Uh,
you.
okay, so I used to point people to to subjects, not exactly resource, because the web is very dynamic. Things change with time very fast. So uh, I insist in the subjects for people to start. When a guy comes to me asking for where I should start, where I should read or do, I always point to the basics, which is operational systems like Linux One, because people usually use Windows. Some don't even know that Linux exists. Uh, Programming, you know, someone have to know how to program in a computer, have to need to have basic concepts about programming, like a loop, like a comparison, like what a string, what is a data type, things like that. Um, what's more? And network, of course. People know one that wants to understand what hacking is needs to know about network too, from basic concept to advanced concept, because it's all connected, and without that we can't go ahead. Uh, Basically, to start in general, hack in general. For web hacking, which is my main field of study, especially cross-site scripting, there are other requirements, so we can discuss it later too.
Well, thank you for answering that question. And yeah, I totally agree with you that yeah, people should first learn the basics, networking, perhaps Python, a little bit of Python before they jump
Yeah.
deeply in hacking. And yeah, I think you're right. Thank you for answering this question. Let's go to the following one. Yeah, for my next question, at which age did you knew? Okay, I want to join the infosec world. I want to, yeah, make this my living, my job, my passion.
Uh, did you ask when that idea came to me, or when I started?
Yeah, at which age did you start it? Did you know this is the way to go for you?
Uh, since the technical school, uh, I was kind of involved with internet because it was in the beginning, especially here in Brazil. In most of the world too, I guess, in the 90s. So I've always had that kind of dream, to become a hacker, because yeah, for me it was something related to power and freedom, power to bring freedom. So my main goal was to become a hacker because of the knowledge itself and what the power to freedom that would bring. But as a career on InfoSec, it started when I was at that power company, when I was working as a technician there, and after that an analyst. But it was some kind of thing that I was doing to improve my position there. Uh, I was trying to grow there, to leverage my career there. So I started. I wanted to go to the infosec field, uh, to the security department. So that motivated me. That was the final motivation to me to become uh, what I, what I am now, an infosec enthusiast, evangelist, professional.
Well, thank you for the story and the answer. I think many people here in the chat, as I can see it, are happy that you chose this field, and they are happy that you joined us, and they are liking your blogs. I can see. So keep it going.
I think I should open another window here to see them. They are on Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah, they are talking in Twitch right now. So you will probably love this to see all those purple herds and rainbow herds. But yeah, thank you for answering that question. Let's go to the following one.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have any certification, I don't know if you have any certification, but what was your first certification that you obtained, if you remember?
I don't have any. I don't have any. As well as with the graduation, there was a time that I decided to not have one. For me, when I left the technical school, it was it's very similar to the high school, but with techno background. I've decided to that I could learn everything by myself, so it was kind of a punk attitude, to try to subvert the system, to learn about things that few people out there know, by myself, or by or via internet, not by regular means, so when I was doing with that, as a career later on in my life, I I did think about it, especially the certifications from offensive security, the creators of Kali Linux, which are pretty good for the industry as a whole. But I couldn't afford it at the time. So I just dropped it, decided to fight for my space in the community, by myself, by learning, because it was some kind of ideal, a kind of ideology to be like that in the community. Something personal, I really don't recommend that. You can't do any certification, especially the main ones, because it will help you in your career. It was just the path that I choose, that I have chosen. So yeah, very much like that. I have no certifications, but it's not something that I recommend. Just to be clear, you can't take any certification right out there. I even have planned to build one certification to give to my students myself. The Brute Certified Access course, which I'm preparing for this year, hopefully.
Well, thank you for answering that question, and I think we cannot wait for your course to release. Uh, are you planning to do any offensive security certification, perhaps in the future?
Yeah, yeah. Strangely enough, maybe I have those plans, yeah, to get, because it seems fun,
It's definitely
to
fun.
to review all, yeah, to review all the material, and take the exam. It seems pretty fun. So I think, someday, maybe when my kids grow a little bit more, I will have some time to permit to allow myself that kind of fun.
Perhaps you can do the courses together with your kids and learn them hacking too.
Yeah, yeah, that would be pretty cool, man.
Hacker
Yeah,
family.
definitely.
No, but
Yeah,
thank you for answering this question. It's nice, yeah, to see that not everyone in the InfoSec community has certifications. Some people have, some people not. It's always funny to see, yeah, to see the difference. Uh, yes, let's go to the next question. Uh, yeah, you are tweeting a lot about cross-site scripting, but what fascinates you about this type of vulnerability?
that's an absolutely awesome question, man. Because it's, I think people do not mind to ask that. I think some even think we are kind of crazy guys, that's get that get restricted to one type of vulnerability. But as I used to say, that leads you to find and discover so many good things from your own satisfaction. The satisfaction of the mind because of the logical puzzle and all that kind of stuff. But it's not enough to stress that people want to understand. One has have to get involved in cross-site scripting, all the stuff that one needs to learn to deal with it properly, to understand. It's a lot of fun, man, to bypass a filter, for example, a WAF, web application file. It's so good when you finally find that combination of characters and strings that make the security evasion possible. So it's hard to stress that out more than I used to do. Uh, and we learn a lot of HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We have to learn about it. We have to learn about JavaScript, which is a weird language. Most of people have this impression, I guess. But with time, you get used to it. You understand it better. Thanks to Brendan Nike or Brendan Nake, I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly, but he's the father of the language. So he's currently developing, heading the team of Brave Software, which is an awesome project, and you guys will hear a lot yet about it. We hope so, especially now with the support to crypto and IPFS protocol. So I'm talking about things, that just I've just learned because of the cross-site scripting involvement, So I recommend because of that. But anyone can choose another door, another path to get in, to the to that puzzle of hacking via other means, like other types of injections, server-side injections, other vulnerabilities that will lead to that type of knowledge, like the cross-site scripting brings to someone who start to learn and master it.
Yeah, if you want a challenge, you can always go dive deeply in serialization. That vulnerability is really a badass vulnerability.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, this serialization. Yeah.
It's
When I
difficult.
was at Sucuri, yeah, when I was at Sucuri company, I was there. It's a company that makes a firewall. Indeed, it's a firewall, a web application firewall that I use in my own websites. The guys there are great, man. So I did help to to build it, not to build, sorry, to strengthen that WAF. So when I was there with the team, with the vulnerability team there, we were also working with some deserializations vulnerabilities in WordPress, So I
WordPress.
really find it cool. Really find it awesome to deal with. There is so much. There's so many cool subjects in hacking, man. It's hard to stick to one. I really don't know how I can get in access to today because I read about so many stuff, and I sometimes I really wish to change to become another expert or specialist in another subject, but it's hard to to left the access field because people have me as a reference. So I think I will just try to add things with time.
I can understand your pain. I'm someone I'm someone who wants to learn too much. I cannot focus on one thing as you do with cross scripting. I want to learn about hardware hacking. I want to learn about web application hacking. I want to learn about assembly, reverse engineering, exploit development. Yeah, perhaps I need to to try your approach, to focus on one thing and dive really deep into that one thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for your answer.
But you can try, but maybe it won't work, because even myself, I get distracted from other subjects, outside of the scope of hacking too, by philosophy, tech in other areas like artificial intelligence
Yeah,
and other
exactly.
stuff. There are so many things cool out there to read and learn.
I think that's the beauty of the infosec world, that yeah, that there are so many things to do, so many different things to learn. Yeah, you can learn until you are dead probably, and even more than that. You can learn when you are dead, and when you are go dead for the second time, third time, perhaps fourth time. I don't know. You can learn forever. But
Exactly.
yeah, thank you for answering that question. Let's go to the following one. Yeah, do you have any special tools or any special approach when you are hunting for cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, or do you do you have any favorite type of cross-site scripting? Because for the people who are watching, there are three types of cross-site scripting. You have DOM, reflected, and stored cross-site scripting. For which one do you search the most, and yeah, what kind of tools and methodology?
Nowadays, I deal with cross-site scripting mostly as research, especially to find good stuff to share, regardless if it's simple or not, because I usually share simple things. People already lack a lot the basics, so I stress it out a lot. And because it's the foundation to get better understanding of more complex vulnerabilities, including DOM-based, because DOM-based is something more advanced in the XS field. Uh, but I when I started, and until today maybe, I usually go manual to look for some kind of stuff, because I test things that not necessarily leads to the pop-up. Most of the time my goal is not to pop the alert box, because I don't hunt for bugs anymore, and I won't report anything. So I just want to learn. So to learn, sometimes fuzzing it's better for me to bring me more info about that specific scenario or setup than just popping the alert box to report. So uh, when I started, I did wrote some kind of script, a bash script, to help me to find the vulnerable entry points, vulnerable URLs to try manually. Was just some kind of marker, just to point me to a given URL, just to investigate more, not necessarily popping the alert box for me, like Nox, my online tool, does. Uh, so nowadays, and also because it's my tool, I would hunt out also with Nox side by side, doing manual stuff, and always consulting Nox, for to know what it thinks about that specific URL, because it makes so many tests that I would not do manually. It's easy to miss some tests, when look for cross-site script. About the three types of cross-site scripting, I kind of have a different vision of it. I usually divide the XSS in two main ones, regarding origin, which is source based or DOM based. In this and both source based and DOM based have the reflected and restored one. So it's kind of two types with two subtypes, not three types equally. Because one is server side, the another is client side. One is doing with the attack itself, which is the reflected one, and the other one is stored. One persist in the application, you know. So I kind of have this understanding, kind of different from what is told in the web. Uh, and about DOM based, um, I don't I don't really remind what you asked about DOM based stuff. Um, but if I have some kind of preferred XSS, right? Uh, if so, it would be for sure the DOM based ones because they are so cooler. We have to investigate deeper in the JS code, uh, and uh, and it's more complex to find and to understand too. So it's we know that in tech overall computer, the more complex the thing is, the more prone to errors and vulnerabilities, mistakes, etc., and bypass and that kind of stuff. So I really like doing stuff because of that. But usually I deal with bypass in web application firewalls. So regardless of the type of the vulnerability, the 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 coolest thing to do is to bypass the that kind of protection, not the XSS itself. I think I had answered it all properly.
Well, thank you for this long and great answer. Yeah, I'm wondering with the Microsoft Exchange vulnerability that has been released last couple of days, it's a big hype in the infosecurity world. A lot of companies have been hijacked because of this. But as far as I have read it, the vulnerability, I have not read it very detail, but uh, as I was reading, I saw it started with a cross-site request forgery, and from there the attackers could elevate to remote code execution by doing something with the view state parameter, I believe, with deserialization. Uh, did you have anything to do with this Microsoft Exchange in the terms of are you helping companies by fixing this or yeah helping them or do you advise them?
Not really, because usually I'm not at the defensive side of the things. Usually in the offensive side. Uh, but I know it's important. I know companies have to do that. There is the software development life cycle, which has to address most of the vulnerabilities, and after that, maybe a bug bout program or some kind of security assessment by a penetration test or something. But to fix and patch things is not something I really deal with. Although I most of the time I can do it, but it requires a lot of knowledge in other languages, programming languages, and platforms and frameworks. That's it's really out of my scope because I'm not a super guy that knows everything. You know, I know a lot, not a lot about things, but very few about so many things. You know, so I'm more generalist, someone that knows a little bit about most of the things, but I don't get deeper in most of the overwhelm in most of them. So maybe that's why people come to me looking for cross-site security stuff because that's maybe one of the just one thing or one of the few things that I know in depth. So I even have planned to go to defensive side, but definitely it would not be helping companies or patching things. Maybe someday building a wall, something that can block attacks, you know. But because that deals with the offensive mind, that deals with the offensive way of thinking, just for the defensive side. Patching and fixing things or coding correctly is not really my way to go, you know.
Well, thank you for that answer. Yeah, I was perhaps thinking that because you love cross-site scripting, you was really interested in this Microsoft Exchange vulnerability as it started with a simple cross-site request forgery. So yeah, it's kindly similar to cross-site scripting. Not totally the same, of course, but yeah, it starts mostly at the same place.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go to the next question. I see we have not much time left, so let me go quick faster. Let's go to the next question. Yes, you were talking with me on Twitter in private that that you have 30 dogs and 30 cats in your house. So in total, 60 animals he has in his house. For those people who are
More than that.
for those people who are watching right now, if you wonder why he has 60 animals in the house, well, why? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Yeah, I've told you I have 30 plus, so just to get a rounded number. In total, it is 70, 70 animals.
70 animals.
To be precise, it's 34 cats and 36 dogs. Most of them, around 80% or a little bit more, it's rescued from streets. The other ones, it's because we didn't do our homework right, and let them, replicate. Uh, so it was in the beginning. So some puppies got here uh, from the animals here meeting each other, Uh, but most of in the last years, especially, it's almost all from the streets, right from the street. Why I do that? There was a time in my life that I just couldn't look to the world around me. The world, as we all know, it's not a fair place. It's not a very good place to everyone. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here, but we all know that things are not perfect, especially in countries like mine. Maybe probably in other countries, poor countries too, or in development countries. So I've started to see uh, a lack of care about the animals here, and I couldn't stop to see it, and I couldn't stop to try to think about doing something. I think most of us grow with the idea that we can change the world, we can do something for the world, but we get so busy doing our stuff that we don't really do most of the time really do anything just for us, because we have to survive, we have to take care of the people that are close to us. So I I could do that at the time of my life, and I started to do something else, which is look at the animals and try to understand their suffering. And when that started, man, when it started, it doesn't stop, because now I have some kind of spider sense, Spider-Man sense to animals. I walk in the streets, and I can hear cats and dogs somewhere else, kilometers away, miles away. So I can't stop, see, and try to help. I can't go to my bed at night and sleeping thinking, oh, I could have helped that poor dog that I saw earlier in my day. So because I have passed through this so many times, I just go to the right thing right away. Even when I had money problems, I do that. But things are going good enough in my life to support all that with my work and some good people online that also help me, or via my work, or via direct help. So I'd like to use that time now to thank you all for that support in the name of those animals that have a better life. Some have even a life because they were almost dead when I rescued. So I like to thank you in the name of them for all your support. Thank you.
Yeah, I really like the idea, and yeah, that's what you're doing. That you are saving animals, dogs, cats. Yeah, I think more people should do that. You are really doing a great job there. So yeah, keep it going. And I think the animals, if they could talk, they will probably talk to you entire day and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I'm I have never seen 70 animals close together. Perhaps I don't know if you want, but can you turn your webcam perhaps a little bit to the left so we can see all those animals, or
Oh, you
is that hard?
complaining a lot here. It's a mess where I am. Uh, if I could show, I can't even show most of. Yeah, because it's raining. So they are divided in groups.
Yeah,
I don't have a big house, but I have a lot of place outside my house because it's kind of not really. As I don't know how big a ranch can be, but here in Brazil we have some properties like ranches, but mini ranches. Very little. There is a house and there is a lot of space out there. I live in the kind of that. So I'm dividing groups inside my house. I'm not inside my house now. I'm in the something that is outside my house, but it's covered, right? That's right. It's not
yeah,
raining here, But the cats are all inside the house, and all the windows and I don't know the name. That stuff outside the house, but that's covered too.
I know it.
It's also yeah, it's all with some kind of grade, some kind of web.
Well, perhaps
I don't know. Yeah,
someone in the chat already mentioned it. Perhaps you can take a picture and post it on Twitter, perhaps later if you want.
yeah, I will do that. I will do that later for sure. To illustrate the situation here. So the cats are inside the house. They are divided in groups there too, because of the rooms of the house. There are a little separation. There are three to four dogs inside the house. They are tiny ones. They can live with the cats, so they can't harm them
I
badly.
understand.
Outside, I have bigger dogs, so these bigger dogs can get with the cats because they would harm them. And outside the house, I have more groups because dogs tend to fight more, I think. And when they fight, it's hard to get rid of. I have I had I get injured from time to time. Trying to separate the dogs, stopping the fights. But there is some kind of satisfaction, inner satisfaction that we can't describe. It's just someone who cares, who like animals, can feel.
Well,
But
it's
it's like that. I will definitely post pictures of them. Sure,
well,
soon.
we can't wait for the pictures. As I see the chat that there are more people curious about it, and yeah, again, keep doing the great work. You are a great and kind guy. So yeah, you
Thank you.
really help the
So
animals.
much.
Yeah, keep it going. Well, uh, as of the time, I see it's already a bit late. I go to the 5 questions of shame, and then
Yeah.
we can perhaps take 2 questions of the people who are watching, or three. I don't know how much time you have left. Let's go to the first question. Which
Don't
hero?
forget we started later. We started later today, so we have some time yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for the first question, which hero will you be? You can choose any hero from movies, comics, books, strip books, games, whatever hero you will be.
Uh,
You already mentioned
it's it's
Spider Man, perhaps Spider Man.
no, it's Spider-Man sense. No, not really Spider-Man. I love superheroes. I think they are really cool, really nice. I've grown up uh, reading comic books, Marvel, DC, and all this stuff. But I like nowadays. I like things like The Boys, which is kind of the opposite of the superhero image, So, but it's hard, to think about that. When we started the question, the first name that came to my mind, I think it would be the honest answer, maybe. And the first name that came to my mind was the guy that made me think different about the world, because of his quote. I will say the quote first, and then I will say the guy. I'm not sure if it's from him. I'm not 100% sure. I did some research on the web and I couldn't come to a conclusion. But he said, if you if you want to better world, you need to. If you want to change your world, you have to start to change yourself. It's some kind like that. I can't remember the quote right now.
Ip Man,
I'm a little bit
perhaps?
nervous
Bruce
talking
Lee?
about him. It was Gandhi,
Ah, Gandhi.
India,
Yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi. So there are some controversies about him, and put in perspective. The world was a little bit different, little bit, no, a lot different from now. So there are those questions about feminism, about religion, about a lot of things that can cause controversies today. But Gandhi, he seemed to be a guy who wanted a better world, So that's why he tried to share his wisdom, whatever it is, I'm not sure. He didn't really change the reality of his country, India. Because of him, they could get independent. So, but I think it was way more than that. He really helped to change our minds about some things. That quote definitely changed my life. So I think I should choose him because of that. Because it's really part of me.
Well, thank you for answering that question. I think it's a great answer.
He's not a superhero.
Let's go to the second question. If you can choose two parents, it can be any parents, celebrities. Again, it can be heroes or strip books, comic books. Which two parents would you choose?
Two parents.
Yeah,
Parents. So a mother and a father.
yeah.
That
It
is.
yeah, it can be two girls, two boys. It can whatever you want.
Okay, okay.
It can be
That's that's a
celebrities.
hard
Yeah.
that's a hard question. I really didn't ever think about that. Uh, it's hard. But I can't come with which seem. I'm not judging. Which seem a silly answer. Oh, I would be like a brother of Superman or some kind of that. But or Neo from Matrix. I'm even wearing a T-shirt about Matrix now. But I don't know. I don't think I could give an honest answer or a properly answer here right now. So I will pass this one. I swear I will think about it and I tweet the result of my computation.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, now let's go to the third question. Yeah, what will be your weapon of choice? You can choose any weapon, science fiction weapons or real weapons. What will be your weapon of choice? It can be
Weapon.
it can be a weapon that shoots cross-site scriptings at people, perhaps.
Weapon cross-site scripting. Uh, I was thinking about physical weapon. Uh, Not sure. Mm, maybe one of some game.
A gun that shoots. Uh,
Oh, maybe Proton Canyon from Iron Man. Iron Man has a Proton Canyon in old video game Marvel versus Capcom. I think I remember he has a kind of big cannon that comes to him, and he fires a big a big wave of plasma. I don't know, some kind of that thing.
So,
Uh, Proton Kano, because it sounds nice, it brings me a lot of uh, uh, rememberings, good rememberings.
yeah, I was reading the chat. Someone really made my day today. As he is saying, imagining that you are holding a gun at people, and you are saying to that guy or girl, "Hey, give me your money, or I cross-site script you."
you know, that was really cool. You know,
There will be a
also another thing that I
there,
didn't mention about cross-site scripting, which is cool. It's because cross-site scripting, you're pretty much hacking yourself. So I don't really get fear or scary about the result because I'm simply sending some string that gets reflected, to the server. It comes back. I'm not storing anything there. I'm not stealing any data. I'm not messing with the system itself. Most of the time, of course. I mean myself. People may be doing different. Usually, you don't mess with the system. You just build a proof of concept, POC. So that's one of the kind of good things. The downside, it's not that dangerous most of the time, because you can't escalate to remote command execution. Sometimes you can't escalate to anything too much dangerous. At the first sight, you can get a persistent access to the browser of the victim. So getting getting to someone and talk like that, give me that or I'll cross-site script you. So I'm very much saying, I will play with you. Just I will not doing you any harm for real. So it's kind of I think we can get because we will distract the victim, and when he or she laughs, you get what you want. You know.
well, if they wear Google glasses, yeah, you can annoy them with pop-ups. You can just give pop-ups.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah.
Well, let's go to the next question, the fourth question. In a game of scissor, paper, and rock, what will be your first choice?
I think scissors.
Finally, someone choosing scissors. Not many people choose scissor. They always choose rock. Let's go to the.
Maybe because I don't play too much that joking pole. I don't know the English name, the Japanese one. I think the joking pole, right? Game. So I'm not that used to it. But kind of surprised. I think I won most of them in my life.
Yeah, I don't play that game too much, but yeah, I always wonder what people would choose. Let's go to the last question. What will be your ultimate hacker name?
Okay.
You are the first person to register a hacker name. What will it be?
Different from mine, right? Because I had to choose one to start with,
Yeah,
which is
you can choose
philosophy.
the same name if that's
Uh,
the name you want.
yeah, I pretty kind of use it to it. Maybe I would just short to brute, because people already did that because it's easier to pronounce. If I could get the brute username handle in Twitter, but I couldn't. I did try, but I didn't get a response for the real brute there. I think it's an institution, some kind of thing, because it's pretty tied to me and the stuff that I did. I can't much change now. When I was younger and I was programming stuff, and I did programming a game at the time when I was learning in Pascal, which is probably a dead language by now. Uh, I use it any arcade games, also arcade games. I'm used to go to arcades and play some games, and in the end you have to put your initials, you know. But because it was three letters, I used it to put a name there, which was Roy, you know. So I kind of get that nickname at the time. More, some friends still call me Roy, and they made some kind of fun sometimes about the dinosaur family. There was a character named Uncle Roy, so they call me Uncle Roy, Uncle Roy. But I used it to. I, w- I was using Roy as a nickname in the past. Maybe I could uh, get it back. Brute Roy or Roy Brute, maybe some kind of construction like that.
Yeah, I think the name is great, and yeah, it says what you're doing. Cross-site scripting, brute cross-site scripting. Um yeah, those were my questions so far. Let's go to the questions of the people who are watching. There are some questions. Let me go to the first one. How many hours per day do you study? How many hours hacking, and how many hours yeah, do you use for personal things like your family, children?
So these dedicated patterns that changed a lot throughout the years. I've used it to spend a lot of time studying and doing hacking because it was something. It was and it is. It still is something that I love to do. I love to get involved. But because of personal stuff, you know, the animals and the kids, especially the kids, man, kids take a lot of times in that age. They are about to complete 1 and 2 years each one. Uh, the my baby's brute. So they take a lot of time. So I spend, I don't know, because sometimes I stop to do something. Sometimes I'm at the bed and getting with my mobile phone doing stuff. People know me because know that I'm almost always available. People talk to me, and sometimes seconds after I'm answering them, replying to them, because I'm always my cell phone, my mobile phone, that I can do most of my things, you know, except the hard work like deeper research or things with Knox programming, but social media, especially social media, I I deal with it even at cross-site scripting, man. Even to test some sites or to help someone with cross-site scripting, I use uh, mobile browser, you know. So it's hard to tell, but nowadays it's a little, no, a lot more less than was before.
I think you can. Thank you for answering this question, by the way. Uh, I think you can be rich, a millionaire, if you make an application on your phone that is called XSS notification. And what the app is doing, it will put up a pop-up on your mobile, Android, iOS, when you have a deadline or yeah, you haven't talked with someone at that time. And yeah, the application is called XSS notification, and it will just pop a cross-site scripting on your mobile device saying, "Oh, it's time to sleep," or "Oh, it's time to wake up." If you make that,
This is fun.
no, but
Maybe I will think about it, man. I will think about it. Maybe, who knows?
yeah, perhaps
Uh,
it's a good application for
uh,
time management.
but this is a real question or not? Just a suggestion.
No, no, no,
If
no,
so,
no,
I
no.
will try some.
It's just a
Oh,
suggestion.
oh,
Let's go to the follow question. Uh,
okay.
yeah, there's one real big question, but it's about yeah, entirely different topic. I don't know if this is a serious question or yeah, a fun one. So if this guy can tell me if this is serious or not, then please reply again, or else I will just jump to the next one for now. For the next question,
Okay.
have you ever found a copy-paste cross-site scripting? And what he is meaning with this is copying cross-site scripting payload as an HTML and pasting it in, for example, WISE editor.
Uh, I usually don't deal with copy and paste stuff and some other kind of vulnerabilities, like clickjack, for example. I know this is also client side, but something that I don't know. It's because we have to make choice, on what you want to look for, what you want to research or looking for. But some kind of cross-site scripting I regard as with minor impact because it's more difficult to trigger or to trick a victim into uh, getting attacked with it. So copy and paste usually have this uh, have less impact. So I really decided to not go much deeper in that. So I don't look for those vulnerabilities. I don't even remember the last one that I have seen. So I think this question I will disappoint the one who made it.
Well, thank you for answering this question. Yeah, let me go to the following one. Yeah. How do one approach to creating cross-site scripting filter bypass payloads?
That's a good one. And it's so complicated that I even had an idea to write an entire book about it. The problem is to get all that material, all that examples, all that knowledge that comes to mind when you have to deal with some kind of filter. So I'm trying to get all possible filters that I can remember, maybe, and trying to discuss about them and the process of bypassing it or figuring them out, because it's a very, very extensive subject. Uh, but with time, uh, the more you practice cross-site scripting, have to deal with them, you develop some kind of an again the spider sense, So you kind of know the especially WAFs. You kind of know WAFs because you know your history with them. You know how you bypassed them in the past. You know how they could have fixed that last bypass, and how they what they could think to fix that bypassing, how more breach they could open, or how outdated they can be regarding new techniques. So there are that kind of faults that come to mind when you approach a field. You need some kind of history against this also to figure out the best approach usually. But there are a lot more on this subject to discuss, and we don't have time here. I'm sorry, really.
Yeah, thank you for answering this question. I will pick two more questions and then we will finish as you already had to go. So let's be
Okay.
point. Yeah, for the next question. Yeah, I think this one is an interesting question. What is the approach for CSP bypass?
Yeah, I think I made it very clear in my last blog post. I did write and publish a few days ago, 2 days ago, I guess, about CSP bypass. It's kind of some basic guidelines because it's not that simple sometimes. There are complex scenarios that can be bypassed using other stuff, but I try to summarize the the really the guidelines to deal with it. So instead, for example, of using Google Evaluator CSP tool, online tool, which I always recommend to people. Now, with that approach, with that blog post, one can try to evaluate it yourself. So you don't need Google telling you, "Oh, this can be dangerous. Oh, this you should look on that part of the policy of because it's content security policy uh, to look or to try a bypass to look for a bypass. You can evaluate it yourself if you start to understand how it works and what you have to do if something is present here or there. I think it's better to help one to figure out a bypass or even a novelty maybe instead of just relying on a tool saying to you, "Oh, there is not a way," or "There is a way," and it's like that. Uh, so my approach is kind of summarized on that blog post on my website. So if you didn't see it, please check. There will be some good tips and tricks there.
Yeah, thank you for answering this question. Yeah, let's go to the last question of this session. Yeah, someone is asking you, are you a CTF player or a bug bounty hunter?
None of them, really. CDF and Bug Bounty are really good stuff to 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 try on. Maybe in the beginning or even for your life. CDF, it's a game, it's also like video games. One can't say, "Oh, you can't play video games all your life." Well, we can. Why not? Uh, there are people maybe I don't know them, but maybe that spend all their lifetime just doing CDFs because they are fun. I have more that scientific approach, trying to be scientific. I'm not really a scientist, but I have this feeling to research and to find things that usually we don't see there, even if, especially simple things, not very complex things, but things that we can see general. Maybe it has to do with that dog stuff, dog cat stuff. They are around us, and we don't see usually. So I like that feeling to find things that are around us and we don't see. Maybe it also has to do with the Matrix, but that's why, yeah, that's why I got more interest about the truth, about the knowledge, about things that we don't see, that in doing things that just training our skills. Maybe it's a flaw of mine. It's a lack of skills even
Availability.
because I don't practice that much. Yeah, yeah, vulnerability. But that's the way I go. My soul goes, kind of that.
Well, thank you for answering that question. I have one question from my own, then we will finish this. I don't know if you know this television show from a long time ago. It's called Cat Dog. Do you know Cat Dog, the television show?
Nope, nope. It was in which channel, which country?
Let me show you a picture. I think this suits you with your current dog cat problem. I don't know if you can see the picture.
I
Okay,
can't see, but I will
you
check online here.
you can see it now in
Cat dog
the
show?
yeah cat dog. It's a dog. It's a dog
Uh,
and a cat tied
they
together.
made a television series.
Yeah, you can see it on the Twitch stream right now, if you are watching. I was thinking
Oh no,
perhaps this.
I don't have Twitch open. I don't know if it will mess with the sound here. That's why I didn't open.
I shared you a link in the chat.
Let
But
me check you.
yeah, I was thinking that situation is probably at you right now.
I,
Yeah, it's definitely an old show.
sorry, there's an ad first. Sorry, I'm trying to get into the screen. Yeah, but by googling it, I can see it's a animated series, right? There's a cat and a dog at the same time. The same.
Yeah, it's your cat and dog.
It seems fun.
It's really an old television show from when I was young. I always watched that.
Where is the picture? Please show me again.
Yeah, it's a television show from I think 8 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago. It's really perhaps you can watch it on YouTube. There are probably some episodes. It's about a dog and a cat tie
Okay.
together. It's funny.
Okay, yeah.
Please
I will watch something later.
don't experiment with your own cats and dogs there to perhaps connect
Of
them.
course not.
No, no, that will be a
Of course not.
Matrix word. Cats and dogs together. No, but no.
Yeah, bleaching the matrix.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we are at the end of this show. I think it's time for those animals for you to get dinner, and perhaps for you too.
Yeah. We are late for dinner. We got some calls here to participate, to join, to help.
For those people who are watching right now, yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for being here. Thank you for the amazing questions, and I want to say to Brute Logic, thank you for this opportunity. I'm happy that you want to talk to me and to the people, of course. I hope you had a great time. I hope you enjoyed the questions. Yeah, and I hope you have a great day further and have a nice dinner, of course.
Thank you, man. I have no word to thank you for the opportunity to show me to your audience. Those questions are very fun and awesome. I did not anticipate that. I was thinking it was something more technical, and that kind of stuff. People are always asking me technical questions, but it was very, very good to see how surprised it was. Uh, Thank you that all of you that know me already, and all those who don't know. Thank you all. Thank you for support. Thank you, Melvin, for the time. And we will see you. We will meet again sometime, somewhere. See you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I hope
Have a nice day or night.
I hope we can meet soon after this COVID problem has been gone. But yeah, we will see how long that will take. But yeah, no problem. I'm happy you are here. I'm happy you want to talk to me. And for the people who are watching, yeah, I wish you all a great day, morning, afternoon, night, sleep well, whatever time you are.
Yeah.
So see you all.
And if possible, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow him on
Me and
Twitter.
Melvin, if you're already following. I'm at Brute Logic or Rodo Assis. Brute Logic it's easier to remember.
I shared.
And Melvin already have his handles here in the page. You can check it out.
Yeah, as he said, follow him on Twitter. He posts really amazing